Hi there, my name is Casey. I'm going to be explaining the expectancy theory of motivation created by Victor Vroom and how it connects to communication studies. So first, a little background. This is Victor Vroom. He unfortunately passed away last year, but he was a very well-loved, well-respected professor at the Yale School of Management. He was big into business and management, studying the dynamics that occur within those contexts. He was also a psychologist, and a theorist, and he ended up developing the expectancy theory of motivation in 1964. He formulated that you choose to behave based on your expectations of the outcome of the event, and your behavior contributes to the success or failure of the task. So, in simpler words, um, your excitement to do the task, or your how you feel you'll do on the task, will make you act a different way, and how you act impacts the outcome. So, he is describing this relationship where your expectations plus your behavior equals outcome, pretty much, is how I would explain it. A little bit into the origins of the theory. This theory was created when Victor Vroom was working on his book, Work and Motivation, in 1964. And this book explores the psychology behind behavior in the workplace. Um, let's see. Over the years in his multiple careers, and passion for management and business, he was able to observe behaviors displayed in the workplace and analyze these behaviors until he found patterns. Eventually, he founded the expectancy theory of motivation and used this theory to teach other professionals and educators how to motivate effectively through communication. So this theory is really important in education, the workplace, many contexts, because it's nice to be motivated and to know how to motivate people that work under you. So there are multiple assumptions and constructs behind this theory, but some of the main assumptions are that everyone has the same capacity for learning and the availability or time to complete the task, which obviously is not always the case. Not everyone has the same capacity for learning or time to do things, so sometimes stuff happens. People can choose their behavior. That's not true. Not always. You can consciously choose your behavior, but most of the time we're subconsciously acting and not choosing to act in a certain way. The biggest assumption that is brought up in this theory is that impact or effort directly impacts outcomes, which isn't always the case. For example, if there was a woman working somewhere, she was given a big task and she really felt confident, and this confidence made her act in a way where she got her work done. She had it all planned out, but maybe at the end of the day, the person who was judging the work didn't like her and didn't give her a successful outcome. That's just one example, but there are obviously other examples of this. And the theory is kind of broken down into two main categories, and then researchers further went in and divided it even more. So first, the theory explains that expectancy and value work together to create outcome. Expectancy essentially being the level of confidence that someone has in their ability to succeed in the outcome of the challenge, and value refers to how important that person sees the task as. To explain some of the smaller aspects, we have attainment value, intrinsic value, utility value, and cost. Attainment value refers to how much enjoyment or the personal importance that someone places on the task or successfully completed the task, whereas intrinsic value refers to how much enjoyment that the person feels from engaging in the actual activity. So if they like doing that activity, there's a higher intrinsic value. Utility value explains how much that task refers to what they want to achieve in their future, if it aligns with their career goals or their educational goals. And cost is the amount of time and opportunities the person must give up in order to achieve the task. The goal of expectancy theory of motivation is to further explain how human behavior and expectations work together to produce an outcome by further looking into human motivation. And by doing this, Vroom was able to make connections to the workplace and teach others how to successfully motivate their employees. And this is just an assumption for me, but I am assuming that it increases company morale or community building, just because if everyone has higher expectations for themselves and behaves in a way that they will be successful, um, that has to be a more positive environment. That's something that I want to be a part of. The importance of this theory in communication studies. This theory is very important in the field of communication because motivation and behavior are aspects that can be manipulated, hopefully positively, through effective communication in the workplace, education, and multiple other contexts. Research of these aspects in communication studies is imperative in order to become better communicators. And it is also just helpful as students for us to know what this theory is, so that we can motivate our peers in group projects and at work. So just in our daily lives, it's good to have this theory so that, if you can alter someone's expectations, like maybe you have a friend and you want to go play intramural volleyball with them, but they're too scared, alter their expectations and their behavior. Just tell them everyone's going to be super nice. Maybe no one's good at volleyball. It really doesn't matter. Their behavior will change, um, and they'll end up doing good, or even just going with you could be a success. So this um, theory is really applicable in our field and also just our everyday lives. The study that I chose to explore, that explains the strengths of the theory of motivation along with the weaknesses of it, was done exploring the significance of expectancy value theory, which is just another name for the same theory in the context of music. So they found that the implementation of this theory in education is positively associated with student academic achievement and also course completion. And this theory in general just provides academic staff with the skills and understanding to successfully motivate their students by influencing their expectations. As I said earlier, once we know about this theory, we are able to use it to our advantage or to other people's advantage as well. Along with the benefits, there are also criticisms of this theory. A downside that is mentioned in the same study is that a subjective task value is specific to domain. So the theory was just too vague, really. The researchers had to break down the theory further to define subcategories involved. So that was the attainment value, intrinsic value, utility value, cost, that was added in. And along with this, the theory is very easily misinterpreted. The scholarly peer-reviewed study that has applied this theory that I found was done by Matt Shin, Scott Myers, and Zach Johnson, and it explores the profiles of achievement, motivation, and instructional dissent, published in 2023 by NCA. I was very glad to find this scholarly peer-reviewed source, so I'm very proud of it. The goal of the research question in this study was to determine how undergraduate students' motivation impacted their instructional dissent and how achievement goal theory, along with expectancy value theory, play a role in engagement in instructional dissent. And instructional dissent just refers to a student's ability to express their concerns or a disagreement in class related policies or practices. And this study was done by surveying 475 undergraduate students. They gave them a survey to further comprehend the relationships between achievement motivation, instructional clarity, and instructional dissent. And then they analyzed those responses to conclude their research. The expectancy theory of motivation was applied in this study to create the framework for this study. So it provided researchers with the insights on how students' beliefs in their abilities and perceived importance of the courses shape their motivation and behaviors that follow. And I am choosing to apply this theory in my academic life by altering my own expectations for a challenge in order to allow me to behave in a way that will let me be successful. And that's all I have for you.